Good everyone, on this video. Today we have a review on the Russian P-40E-1. For those that have been around the channel for a long time, you may know that I have actually done this aircraft before. Well, it's because I wanted to re-review a few aircraft. Purely because either I gave negative reviews, like this one, or the reviews I do have are kind of out of date. So you're going to be getting three re-reviews, which are going to be the Russian P-40, the Chinese H-81A2, and also Gala's F3F. If you think there's any other premiums that could do with a re-review, do let me know, and I will certainly get around to it. So starting us off with the Russian P-40E, this is a plane that I originally gave quite a negative review on. This is because at the time of the recording when I actually did that review, this aircraft fought nothing but frickin' Sweden, which as you can imagine is an absolute death sentence. And given the J-21s were clubbing the ever-living crap out of everything, it wasn't exactly a fair fight. Nowadays, though, the matchmaker is not as nice, but it's still better than fighting pure Sweden with J-21s. And that's what's really benefited the Russian P-40 overall, is because it doesn't have to fight just Sweden anymore, and the Swedish planes it does fight, this thing can deal with pretty good fashion. But of course, it's not all sunshine and butterflies, because remember, this is a P-40E, not an F, so you don't get a Merlin. So we'll cross that when we come to it. So starting us off, it is no different to a regular tech tree one in the US tech tree. This should be pretty familiar to most of you. The ordnance, however, does change, and of course the lovely skin, which I have to admit I love the Russian skin on this aircraft. Armor-wise, the aircraft doesn't change, with a bit of steel plating at the front and rear of the aircraft protecting the pilot, with a little bit on the sides and a bit of bulletproof glass here. Now, the bulletproof glass will probably stop something like a 7.92, but anything bigger than that, it's not stopping. Bulletproof glass has a pretty low modifier in case you actually didn't know that, so yeah, don't expect much. In terms of the aircraft itself, we are powered by an Allison V1710 39 12-cylinder engine producing 1150 horsepower on 100% and 1470 on WEP. Now, to those of you that may know about the F models in the game of P40s, you may be thinking, well, they're about the same, aren't they? Because if we look at the French P40 F Lafayette, the Packard license-built Merlin doesn't really add all that much to it, does it? And if we go to the P40F, I believe it's the 10 in the... Yeah, here it is. They share the same engine. Why would you choose this one when it technically has less power? What is a good answer to that? The Allison engine doesn't come as much supercharged as you might think. Past about 3.5 kilometers, you'll feel the power drop off. You'll feel the acceleration drop off. This is because the Allison was more of a low altitude sort of engine, and you're going to feel that as time goes on and you start climbing. You'll also notice that in my speed and acceleration in the battle I'm about to show you. In terms of armament, however, it's the same as the regular P-40s with 650 caliber Browning machine guns with, well, two of them have 240 rounds, two of them have 291 rounds, and two of them have, I believe it's 312. Yeah, they're just here. These are the guns that will run out last, so if you start to feel your ammunition depleting, just check your ammo counter and you'll be noticing just how little ammo you have left. But of course, it's not all just guns and firepower. This aircraft does have a couple of flaws, with the climb rate being rather low, or below average is what I would say. So side climbing is kind of a must in this aircraft, and if you're one of those that want to bring it into a tank forces match, don't worry, this aircraft has you covered in terms of CAS. Now, of course, compared to the US and the French P-40, this has Russian bombs, so they're automatically a bit better. For good reason. If we take a look at the Russian bomb loads, we have two 100 kilogram bombs, a single 250 kilogram bomb to go with that, or you can just carry the big boy, the single 500 kilogram. This bomb is the same one used on the Tu-2S at 5.3 and is also used on the P2s at 3.7. This bomb is extremely devastating, and even some of the SBs carry them. For good reason, these bombs pack a severe punch, but most of the time they're laden on twin-engine medium or light bombers. This is a fighter that's carrying them, so just remember that. And having the 650 cals as well can easily top down most tanks you're going to meet. Now we come to the price of this aircraft before we get into the gameplay. Is this aircraft worth the 700 Golden Eagles? In this day and age, it's hard to say. I think it's a good plane, but I personally wouldn't buy it at full price. This is purely because the aircraft itself has some fierce competition in the Russian premium department. If we take a look at the rank 2 Russian premiums, we have aircraft like the P-39K, which recently unlocked a bomb. We have the I-153P Chaika, which is a lot more fun, in my personal opinion. We have the Hurricane, which is pretty much better than the P-40 in most areas, and trades the bombs because of that, and also ammunition capacity. But then there's also the I-16 Type 28, which is exactly the same as the Type 27 detectory, just with wooden wings. It's hard to say if the Russian P-40 in this day and age is still worth it. And of course, with the Russian Hurricane costing the same price, I would argue the Russian Hurricane is a better premium. But that's just me. If I was to personally suggest, I'd recommend continuing to watch this review if you want to continue with a P-40, or you go watch the Hurricane Mark II B review, which is in the description below. Anyway, how about we get to some gameplay? Let's go take a look at what the Russian P-40E can get up to. Now, unfortunately, we do meet what is increasingly getting frustrating to deal with in this match. Runway campers, and it doesn't happen until the end, but it's still rather frustrating that we're still having to deal with this crap. And I've obviously done a discussion on airfield camping and what they need to do about it, but it's just stupid that this is still continuing to this day and age. So, let's get into the match. Taking off, you want to climb at about 15 degrees. This is because I find this to be the best middle ground. You're not climbing at a slow pace, but you're not climbing at a too fast pace and not really climbing at all. Of course, as you'll notice, the performance of the aircraft will start to drop once you get above around about 3.5 kilometers, which we've just gone past. And the acceleration will start to drop, the power output will start to drop, and the overall aircraft's capability will also start to drop. And as a result, you have to be careful. Now, of course, looking at my team's composition, we don't have the best planes on our team. In fact, if we do have a CW-21, but he's not going to contribute much in this match. And the enemy team has a lot of Swedish bombers and a few Swedish fighters, as well as a load of Spitfires and one Japser. The most dangerous aircraft to a P-40, in my personal opinion, are the Spitfires. But also there's the 205 down there, which you can see there. He's also quite a big threat. He's got the performance to beat you, he's got the dive to beat you, he just doesn't have the firepower. Or the durability. The Russian P-40 can take a beating if it has to, but it's not advised. So coming towards him, I'm diving on the target. He's making it very hard to get a shot, but obviously you won't be able to see the full camera angle because that's how the replay is, but we're able to get shots on target and pilot snipe the 205, getting our first kill. This match could have been an ace, but I decided 4 kills was enough for a review to be at least showcasing what the plane can do in the majority of battles. Of course, not all your battles are going to be like this. The majority of times you're probably going to get bitch slapped by Spitfires or XP-50s because of up tiers. Spitfire beautifully baited by my teammate there, and that was actually me shaking because at the time of the battle it was about 11 at night and I hardly slept the day before, so that's why the guns rattled off there. I was actually shaking during the match. That I do distinctly remember. Because that's the joys of dyspraxia, unfortunately. Kill number 3 on that Stuka. Nothing really to say about him. He was low and slow, nice and easy to shoot, and that's the end of him. Now I had a decision to make. Should I chase down that J-22 that's out of ammunition, obviously I didn't know that at the time, or go after that Spitfire over there, Mr. Lark 1214? I debated for a bit. As you're going to notice, I was debating what to go for, but in the end I decided to go for the Spitfire. The Spitfire is already engaging one of my teammates, the J-22 is running back to his base. I foresaw him as not much of a threat at this time. Now of course, remember how I said the CW didn't contribute much to this team? Well, you're about to see why. He's actually jammed his guns trying to kill the Spitfire. I don't know how you do that, but that's just how some people are. And there goes the CW in a massive fireball to the left hand side. Now of course the Spitfire is not paying that much attention, so I decided to capitalise on that. Obviously I've been getting red markers on my radar, so I was keeping an eye out. The Spitfire attempts to throw me off, but he just embraces his inner Spitfire and catches fire. Kill number 4. That's left me with around about 900 rounds of ammunition and around about 14 minutes of fuel. However, this is where the match starts to descend into scumbaggery, and one thing I will say is it wasn't the player named, well, the J-22 you saw earlier, Roll 23 GDR, it's not him. The player who's actually going to be camping and encouraging it is the player named Adam Beta 3. Of course, at this moment in time, the enemy team is pretty much done. We're winning on tickets, albeit not by a lot, and the only enemy plane that's in a position to do anything about that is a B-18B who is down to his rockets only. And he does try to win the match via ground forces, but fails to do so. I don't really need to continue from here because all it is me calling out the J-22 pilot in chat, calling him a coward and things like that, because that's just what he is. He doesn't even try to fight, he just lets his airfield try and do it for him. But overall, as I said, I would rather you buy the Russian Hurricane if you wanted a rank 2 premium. If you wanted to push the boat out a little bit, do consider the P-39K, especially with its new bomb load. But otherwise, I'd give the P-40 a miss unless you're a Tank Forces player. If you're a Tank Forces player, this thing will provide some excellent cast opportunity for you in the lower tiers. And can even work up to the higher tiers if you're wishing, or shall we say willing to push it that far. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's re-review on the Russian P-40E1, and I will catch you all on the next one.